March 10th, Tuesday, 4:11 p.m. I'm terribly sorry about the mess. I want to keep everybody informed about kind of what's going on with the legal things that Texas Movement is having to go through. Um, it's a bit of a spherical compression on my person, Alexander Varghese Mathai, as well as Texas Movement International for a number of different reasons. Um, I've done some walking vlogs recently, trying to get some things established, but the general consensus is that my existence is being compressed just in general. So we're gonna just do a few minute overview. I don't want to bore anybody. You guys pretty much have a gist of what's going on. You can read this at your perusal, at your discretion. We've got two cases that we're filing pro se in the Northern District of Illinois. We've got case numbers for both now. Mathai versus JP Morgan Chase and a few other individuals, and Mathai versus Pogorzelski. Pogorzelski one's kind of important because we've got the Cook County primary coming up on March 17th, and there's some Chicago political figures and things like that, which is why a lot of this pressure is happening. Now, remember, Chicago's always kind of been a little, there's always been a little friction towards minorities using their voice and, challenging the status quo, especially against white America, Jewish and Polish structures. And like I said before, it's not something that me and my mom ever really wanted to make our lives about. We, can live very comfortably with very minimal things, but uh, the pressure is coming in such forms that it's impossible to find a happy medium, which is why when you talk about forever wars and things like that, that's why these things have to go on. I don't want them to go on, but I have to set a certain precedent in order for this not to happen in the future, because it cannot happen in the future ever again. Okay, so there were plenty of ways to avoid this from your side. When you have the gun, when you have the mace, when you have the taser, when you have the liquidity, when you have the money printer, when you have the ballot rigging machines, you cannot ask the citizen to, give the all the whatever. Okay. Eviction hearing is coming up on March 12th. That's on Thursday, and that case is there. We have interacted with five different law enforcement divisions locally, including coordination with the FBI. So there's obviously some big, big things being hidden. And like I said, guys, I don't need to be Sherlock Holmes with all these secrets and stuff that you have. Um, we already filed a complaint regarding Richard Park, the doctor that pronounced my mom dead at 7:55 a.m. on July 19th, 2023, even though she went to the gym with me. And I called 911 after 3 p.m. that day. So there's a big discrepancy there, and there's a lot of estate paperwork that's going off of certain things there, and that estate paperwork is going on without my consent or without my update, and so that's the reason that J.P. Morgan Chase has to be a part of this. And you didn't have to slow walk me with Bridget Wolf. That made your life a little bit more difficult. And so Jamie and Judith, you can solve this problem. You can easily solve this problem. Um, Governor Pritzker, Mayor Brandon Johnson, Cook County Board of Commissioners, MWRD Patrick Blanchard, Kari Steele, all the other white folks and Polish people that are in the MWRD that are making people's lives miserable. You have a lot of good Indian engineers. You do not need to overwork them and exploit them. We'll do the job that we're asked to do, but your mediocrity is your own problem. Okay. So, we need to come to terms with, how we can all progress forward if you want a peaceful resolution. The car was towed illegally. It's sitting at Northwest Recovery right now. That needs to come back to this parking spot. Okay, those costs need to be, zeroed out. And frankly, I need to be compensated for the loss. And, I'm creating a retaliation matrix that covers all these costs. I have better things to do with my time. Okay. And That's pretty much where we are right now. I don't want to get into the weeds, um, but the housing authority, what you're doing with the CBRAP is unconscionable. Okay, you cannot work with MGD Properties and Agnes Pogorzelski and try to double dip. Okay, you're on paper now. You, it's silly what you're doing. Okay, the hubris that you women have with regards to your position of power. This is why, a lot of people were opposed to, certain privileges being given to women because you don't know how to properly handle positions of authority. Okay. Now, I'm having a little friction with the next door neighbor. That's not his fault. Okay. You just because you no longer want to, address your insecurities with regards to my and my mother's performance, that you did everything to stop, Karina. You did everything to, destroy it. But the Lord's with us, okay? And we're going to progress and move forward. And if you were smart at all, if you were even half as smart as you thought you were, you would find a way to, cooperate with us. But you can't do that because your fetish is control. And so we're going to see how much control you have when all the paperwork is put on the public record. Okay? So Agnes, you were pretty confident when you were talking about, what you would and wouldn't do with regards to the trial filing packet. The arrears were already approved, pre-approved, and canceled out, and that same day you filed a trial packet with all the extortion material you thought would just end my life. Okay, but what you forget is that same extortion material sets a $1 trillion precedent, and you're responsible for it. Okay. So, like I said, you've seen the ARDC complaint. It's already filed, and we'll add to it. We may even file another one if we have to. MGD Properties is being investigated by the IDFPR, just like Richard Park, and just like a few other people. Daniel Pogorzelski as commissioner, and so on and so forth. So, we did this in a matter of, 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, and today they wanted to, make me redetermine my SNAP benefits. Okay, I did that while T-Mobile cut my service off. Okay, and there's an ADA requirement that requires that if phone service is cut off and the transportation is cut off, you're not allowed to, remove that. Okay, so if you want to be a progressive state, especially before the Cook County primary election, you need to do it for everybody. Understand? Okay, so the trickery of the past, it's not the 40s, 50s, and 60s anymore. My heart goes out to everybody that suffered in those eras, but this far, the buck stops right here. All right. So, Mayor Brandon Johnson, I continue to wish you the best of success. All the other people in leadership that are genuinely trying to help out the people in need, you have my full support, and you have the full support of Hero by Texas Movement Media as well. Texas Movement Performance. We had a good workout today. We ran some. The trail out there is 237 meters, so we ran 2 by 237. We came in between 35 and 38 seconds. And considering everything we've gone through, and considering the weight fluctuations and the stress, I'd say that's pretty good. 45 seconds for 300 pace. If we can have that as a baseline, Fred's not going to be too impressed by that, but I've got a few other things going on. So the Praxis held up today, and the performance pants and the war hoodies served their purpose, and so we got what we needed to get done today. We did file. We had a few filings accepted. Emergency supplemental motion with regards to the fraud on the court, Rule 137, request for dismissal with prejudice, the CBRAP payment, the tenant direct payment that was received. Like I said yesterday, you may have seen me walking to Walmart and cash to cash that check, but their internal policies wouldn't allow me to do that. So there's interference happening from many large box players, and I'm not going to start up a new bank account. I'd rather support GN Bank and One United. We're going to explore the biological conflict that put me in this situation with regards to Varghese Mathai and our home in Gilbert's, Illinois. He may be under some external pressure, but he had also every opportunity to correct and mitigate those circumstances, both with his late wife and either of his two sons. If you acted like a decent human being, WASP culture is known for what do you call it? Not decency. They're not really decent people, but the at least congeniality or cordial. Uh, it's going to come to me as soon as I stop recording as well. Uh, but it's your King James WASP mentality should have solved all this. And so this is a quick reminder to you, Indians. You can't pick and choose which parts of whiteness you want to worship. Okay, if you kneel at the feet of your masters, like the house slaves that you are, you need to culturally appropriate all of their qualities, including the discipline of not being a sore loser. Shake the hands of the opposing team or the opposing fighter, even when you lose. Remember Derek Smith? Okay? So we're going to wrap it up today. We don't need to go very far at all, but this was just a test of the new machine. And we'll keep you updated as best as we can, but I may have to take a little bit of a break from video updates to make sure I'm giving my best effort to the cases at hand. We have quite a bit to go over. Okay, so God bless as always, and I'll keep you posted whenever I can. Thank you very much.